Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live. And today I'm going to show you how I made a Mother's Day card, actually, because I realized Mother's Day is like coming up soon. I made a Mother's Day card with a couple of the products from the current mini catalog. So I have got the Blessings of Home stamp set bundle that we used, as well as the Celebrating You stamp set. And like I said, I just switched it up a little bit and changed the sentiment out and turned it into a Mother's Day card. So this is what we're going to be making today. And like I said, it was really quick and easy. And again, you'll see some of my awesome coloring skills and abilities on this one. It's a super quick card to color and easy to make. So, all right, so we've got the Blessings of Home stamp set bundle. Again, this is in the current mini catalog. Hey, Karen and Donna, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate you being here. So this is the stamp set bundle that we're using. I used the flower image out of this as well as the pretty dies. So this is a great set. It's actually actually kind of a mega suite, I think is what they call it, because there are two stamp set bundles and designer paper and ribbons and all sorts of things that coordinate with it in the mini catalog. But I'm just using this particular bundle for today. All right, so this is the die set. Again, the dies will cut out both of the floral images as well as a bunch of little accessory pieces, just some kind of pretty little floral and greenery images. So hey, Barbara and Julie, thanks so much for joining today. So let me set those things aside, and a couple of other things that I used on this. I used the the scalloped contours. I was going to call it colors and contours. No, that's the name of the stamp set. So this one, I got it upside down even. The scalloped contours dies, and I used the littlest one here with the little polka dots on it to cut out the sentiment on the card front. And then this is the Celebrating You stamp set, which has got all kinds of really good sentiments in it. And I love the font in this Mother's Day image that I used here. And then I used the Grateful to Celebrate You Every Day on the inside, which this is a great stamp set because you can kind of mix and match sentiments on it. Love that it's got the happy birthday, and you could use that very same one on the inside for the birthday. So again, great stamp set. There's an anniversary, happy Easter, all sorts of good things in this one. So just a general good sentiment stamp set that if you don't have yet, you really need to get. So, all right, let me set those things aside too. And tell you about a couple of updates. Hey, Penny and Marilyn, thanks so much for joining today. I appreciate you being here. Hey, Lori's here as well. So Stampin' Up! Announced that there is a new kit that they're adding to the kits collection out in the online store. And the kit is called Kindness Cards, and it makes 8 little coaster cards is what they call them, and it's 3" by 3" envelopes. So I assume or 3" by 3" cards, I guess it is. The envelopes I think are 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, but make some cute little note cards, good things to tuck inside gifts and that sort of thing. So it is a new kit that will be available starting on Wednesday, April 6th, and the kits are sort of available while supplies last. They are restocking them, but it's taking kind of a while for them to be restocked with all the shipping issues and everything that are going on. So just know that the kits are available while supplies last. But this one's got 8 cute little note cards in it, as well as a little storage tin for them. So it's a great kit. I'm looking forward to ordering it tomorrow, again, April 6th on Wednesday. It'll be available. The kit is $23, and you can, again, anyone can get it in the online store. You don't have to be a subscriber to anything. The kits collection is something that's available to everyone. So, and one other thing that I wanted to let you know about is the last chance product sale and retiring list that's going on right now. That is from the current annual catalog. So that's the 2021 to 2022 annual catalog. Got to make sure I get the 20s right. And so there's a big list of retiring products. Quite a few of the stamp sets have sold out already. So if there are stamp sets that you're wanting, make sure that you get on ordering them soon so that you don't miss out on those. Again, let me know if you have questions. The new annual catalog, I did a little preview of the goodies that I got on my pre-order. And I did the video yesterday. It's on my Facebook page as well as on my YouTube channel. So go take a peek at that if you want to see some of the new goodies from the upcoming catalog. And if you're interested in joining so you can get your hands on those goodies early, let me know, because I'd be happy to have you come join our team and be able to enjoy the pre-order as well. All right, so let's get started on the card. I have a petal pink card base. This one is cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. This one will fit your standard sized card as well. So if you prefer the book fold or the regular opening cards, you can definitely do this card either way. So you don't have to have it a certain card fold. This is just my preferred card fold. And that's what I had available. So that's what I used. So I have got a piece of, this is the Heart and Home Designer Series paper, which is part of that big mega suite that I was talking about with the Blessings of Home stamp set in it. So this paper actually coordinates with that suite of products. And this is cut to about 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'll be putting all the measurements and everything on my blog tomorrow, and I will link it up in the video description once the blog post goes live, so you'll be able to go take a peek at all the details. If you want to know specific sizes on any of the cardstock cuts, and go by what's in the blog post, because sometimes I start talking and say the wrong things on the video, but pretty sure this is 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to flip it over here, and using multi-purpose liquid glue, we're just going to adhere it to the card front and try to get it lined up straight. When I'm sticking down larger panels like this and need it to kind of lay correctly and in the right spot, I usually use liquid glue. I'm not a big liquid glue fan because I generally tend to make a big mess with it. But when I'm doing larger panels like this, I do find that liquid glue works a little better because it gives you a couple seconds of wiggling things around before it's stuck down forever. Whereas Stampin' Seal, pretty much, as long as you don't press down, you can lift things again. But designer papers are a little more fragile than regular cardstock, so I don't tend to try to rip them back up if I've stuck them down with Stampin' Seal, because it probably will rip it. So the next little piece of designer series paper that I have here is Petal Pink, and it is from the Subtles 6x6 designer series paper pack. That pack is in the current annual catalog, and it will be retiring on May 2nd, and it's available while supplies last. So it's a cute little pack of all of the colors from the Subtles family, and there is one for each of the color families. So there's a Subtles, Regals, Neutrals, Brights, and then one for each of the in colors. So this designer series paper pattern is from that one, and it's cut to about 1 inch by about 5 1/2, and again just stuck it to the card front with a little bit of liquid glue. Next up, I have another little goodie that's retiring. This is the Petal Pink Organdy striped ribbon. It's 5/8 inch wide, and it's beautiful, and it's on sale. Oh, and I forgot, this designer paper is also on sale until it sells out, or until May 2nd when it retires. So it's a very pretty ribbon, very delicate ribbon, perfect for all things girly, I guess I will say that, for the ribbon. So again, it's and I'm probably going to run out of Stampin' Seal in the middle of this video. I forgot to grab a new one. So I've got a little bit of the ribbon, and I'm just going to stick it on. I did a little stripe down the card front with Stampin' Seal, and I know I'm going to have a big image that's going to lay over the top of it, so I don't really care necessarily that you'll be able to see the Stampin' Seal around the ribbon at this point, because again, I know I'm going to have a bigger image that's going to cover everything up, so we won't need to worry about being able to see the, kind of yucky looking part of the Stampin' Seal. And then I'm going to trim it off here with my paper snips, which Karen, I know, look the other way. One of these days, I'm going to remember to get everything out ahead of time. But until then, I probably never will. So, all right. So we've got that stuck down. And I'm going to set that aside for now while we do a little bit of stamping. Hey, Akiko, glad you're here as well. So, Lori, I don't know if I said hello to both of you. If I did, I apologize. I don't know, busy yepping. So, okay. So I've got Tuxedo Black Memento ink and basic white cardstock, and then I have the large floral image from the Blessings of Home stamp set. And we are just going to ink this up, and I'm going to try to make sure that I get good solid coverage. If not, we have the back side of the cardstock that I can always stamp on instead. But I try to do it and get it right the first time around. It doesn't always happen. So, all right, I'm going to stamp this here on the basic white cardstock. Hold it down for just a second and hope that I get a good image here, which it looks like we got a pretty decent one, so I'm going to call that good. And cover up my ink pad before I stick my fingers in it. And then I'm going to grab a couple of Stampin' blends. So I have got Petal Pink, So Saffron, and Soft Seafoam for my Stampin' blends. I'm going to start with the Petal Pink, and I'm going to color just the larger flowers on here with, again, I'm using the brush tip end of the Petal Pink. You can use whichever end you prefer. The brush tip does tend to get the ink on the paper a little faster. The main thing that I'm doing here is just sort of getting color on the flower. I'm not taking a lot of time to worry about coloring it all perfectly. I'm going to be coming back in with the dark Petal Pink anyway. So I can sort of add in a little bit of color, and then I can come back and blend over the top again if I need to with the light Petal Pink. So again, just going to color in the larger flowers here with Petal Pink. Just get the ink on the paper. And you will note that my coloring skills are just not really all that awesome, but you know, I like to do it and I like the way that it looks. So I usually like the final result of it, but I am not someone who spends a lot of time and does all of the really perfectly done shading. I love these types of floral images that have the shading on them already because that gives me a pretty good idea of where I should be adding in all the lights and the darks anyway. So that's one nice bonus with a lot of the Stampin' Up, particularly floral images, is that they're really easy to color because you know, the shading's all there for us. All right, I'm going to take the dark petal pink marker, and this time I am actually going to use and try to remember to use the bullet tip end because I want it to look like kind of little stripes almost as I pull the ink out, just to give it a little bit of a different look. And I'm going to try not to do a whole lot of blending. I just want to make sure that I have the ink covering kind of the dark areas on the stamped images, and then spreading it out just a little bit from there out onto the petals. And I'm going to do the same thing up here with this flower. Again, I'm just scratching on a little bit of the dark ink over the top of where it's already showing me in the stamped image where I should be adding dark colors as well. And same thing on this one, just going to add a couple little kind of scratchy looking lines on each of the petals with the dark petal pink Stampin' Blends marker. And because this image is a little more artistic looking, again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time worrying about getting everything colored perfectly. I kind of almost want it to look a little less than perfect. So, hey, Vicki, thanks for hopping in. And Betty, I appreciate you being here. So I've got my light So Saffron marker. And again, I'm going to take the bullet tip end of that one. And we're just going to add a little color to some of these smaller flowers around the edges here. And again, I'm really just putting the color right over the top of where the lines are at, and I'm leaving the flower centers uncolored on this one. I don't know, I thought kind of less was better, or less was more on this as far as the coloring went. So just adding a little bit of So Saffron around, kind of scratching it on again where the dark lines are already at on the stamped images. And the flower, oh, I forgot the little tiny ones up here. I was going to say they were all done, but nope, I've got a couple little more little ones up there at the top to color. And the flowers are all done. Now we just need to color the leaves. Hey, Jan, thanks so much, and glad you're here. I've got light, soft seafoam. And again, I'm just going to do kind of a similar thing to what I did with the flower petals, and I'm just layering the color on with the light first, trying to get most of the petal, or most of the, why do I keep calling them petals? Most of the leaves colored. But again, they don't need to be perfectly colored. Just trying to make sure I get color over most of it. Because again, you can always come back in and add a little bit more color if you don't like the way it looks when you get done with it. You can use the color lifter to take color away if you have any little coloring boo-boos, but it's easier to layer color on than it is to take it off. Trust me from experience, I know that. Although when you're coloring with the lighter Stampin' Blends markers, usually it's not too hard to get the color to come back off. And again, on the dark soft seafoam, I'm just coming back in with that bullet tip end and just scratching right over the top of the area that's already got the shading on the stamp and kind of stretching it out just a little bit onto the leaf. And I hope I'm not shaking the camera too much. Sorry if I am. I have kind of, I don't know, heavy hands, I guess, when it comes to coloring. And that's it. So that's it for the coloring. I know y'all are amazed by my fantastic coloring technique, but I just tend to do quick and easy, and usually I like the way it looks when it gets done. So I don't spend a ton of time messing around trying to blend everything and have it look all perfect. I kind of like it looking a little messy, especially on these types of images where they're kind of designed to look a little messy. So. All right, so let me grab the coordinating die. These are the Flowers of Home dies. And again, they're in a bundle with the stamp set. They're sold together, and you can save 10% if you buy the bundle. So I'm just going to take this and run it through the die cutting machine over here to my left-hand side. So I'll be off screen for a second. Hey, thanks, Akiko. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's kind of soft and pretty, but it's also kind of lazy coloring. And that's my favorite kind. So hopefully y'all are enjoying your Tuesday. It's turning out to be a pretty day here. A little cool in the morning, but not terrible. And I think we're supposed to be up to about 50 this afternoon. Although I hear there's rain coming in for tomorrow, but rain is better than snow, so. I won't grumble too much about that. All right, let me put this back on here before I lose track of the die. So we've got our little die cut image here, and I'm just going to take that and I'm going to layer it right over the card front, right over the top of that glob of adhesive. I don't know if you can see it very well, but you can definitely see it in person. But I'm just going to take Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm going to layer this flower image right over the top of the ribbon that I've got there. And I'm trying to make sure that I've got dimensionals placed at the top and the bottom especially, so that I'm not sticking the image to the ribbon completely. I know there will be some dimensionals that will be stuck to the ribbon, but I want to make sure that some of it's stuck to the card front as well, so that it doesn't accidentally come loose in transit. That's never fun to get your card in pieces. So, all right, so there we go. And April showers do bring May flowers. So we're starting to get a little peaks of things coming out of the ground around our house. So hopefully that means we're done with the snow for a little while. Hopefully like a year. We'll see. All right, and then I've got this sentiment, the Happy Mother's Day, again from the Celebrating You stamp set from the mini catalog, which is a cute one. And I'm just going to continue to stamp in the Memento black ink. And this stamp, I actually, mine's cut a little bit not as straight as it could be. So I do have to be a little careful when I'm inking it up to make sure I don't have a big halo up here. If I do, I can just wipe it off with my finger. And I can also be a little careful. Oops, I better turn this way though, since we're cutting a rectangle. Just be a little careful and try not to rock it and accidentally end up with a halo on my sentiment, which thankfully this time I didn't. But again, there's always the back side of the paper if you did. So I'm going to grab my scalloped contours dies and again I'm just going to take this and run it through the die cutting machine to cut out my sentiment, so it's the smallest of the little rectangles here. So hey Corinne, thanks, I appreciate that. I'm glad you're liking the card. All right, okay. So I got the sentiment all die cut and ready to go on the card front. And I'm going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal if I can find it. There we go. When I'm adhering this down, I know that the left-hand upper side is going to be stuck on the flower image. So I'm going to put Stampin' Seal, or you can use a glue dot or liquid glue, whatever your preferred adhesive would be. Just a little bit of something that's flatter on that part. And then we're going to take a couple of my little chopped up Stampin' Dimensionals and put those over on the right-hand side of the sentiment, so that it's popped up and off the card front. All right, I'm going to flip it over here and stick the sentiment on kind of down and to the right a little bit. Try to get it on straight. Don't have to worry about it being centered because it doesn't matter on this card. The next thing that I did was I put a couple of the polished dots, and I swore that the color on these was petal pink. And I realized this is technically Calypso Coral. To me, it looks like petal pink, so I don't know. I just went with it. I thought they looked pretty on the card, and I certainly could not tell that they were supposed to be Calypso Coral. So if they look Calypso Coral to you, I'm sorry that I'm making it not match. But like I said, when I looked at them, all I could see was petal pink, and so I was assuming that's what they were. And then I looked at the colors in the catalog, and I'm like, oh, it says Calypso Coral, but anyway, they look petal pink to me, so I'm going with it. All right, so again, those are the little polished dots, and again, those are from the mini catalog, and just stuck a couple of them around the card front. And then on the inside of the card, kept it pretty simple as well. I'm going to stamp this sentiment again from the Celebrating You stamp set, and we're going to use Tuxedo Black Memento ink again on that one. And I'm going to try to get centered and straight all in one swing, which sometimes is a little more challenging. And I'm just going to run my finger along the top, trying to make sure I don't have a halo of ink up there, and hoping that I didn't just stick some on the paper, because sometimes I do that too. All right. Oop, that looks a little crookedy to me. Probably better do that one again. I could deal with a little crookedy. That one looked really crookedy. All right. That looks... I don't know if I got it more crooked the other way. Well, we're going to go with it this one. I think that's better than the other one. So, so I'm glad it's not just me, because like I said, I thought I was losing my mind. I swore that it said in the catalog that they were petal pink. And I don't know, I guess just looking at them, they look like petal pink to me. And then I read the actual description and went, oh, whoops. So, oh well, I'm glad it's not just me. All right, so I'm taking that large floral image again, and I'm just going to stamp it over the edge of this basic white cardstock panel. And the cardstock is cut to about 4 1/4, or 4 inches by 5 1/4, sorry. So it should fit perfectly inside my card. And I'm going to grab those same Stampin' Blends markers again and just do the same, really technical coloring that I did before. Oh, better make sure I've got the light one though. Yep, got light petal pink. We're just going to color the petals of the larger flowers. And again, just quickly putting the ink on, not spending a lot of time worrying about getting it blended perfectly and colored perfectly, because it's kind of a not as perfect image, which is lovely when it comes to coloring. So I'm glad that you like the wood grain with the flowers. As you all know, wood grain is like my favorite thing ever for designer papers. So yeah, I tend to use it probably more than I should, but I don't know. I think it goes so well with so many things. You can use it for any kind of card, I think. I think it's perfect with flowers. It's perfect for masculine cards. It's perfect for everything. I don't know. At least that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. All right. Then I've got Light So Saffron Stampin' Blends. And again, I'm just going to take that and just do my little scratchy coloring around the flower image. Just draw over the lines that are already stamped on the images. And it's a little, when I have it stamped on here sideways, it's hard to tell which flower pieces go with which flower. So I think I'm coloring them all the right way, and I don't think I've colored over any of the leaves yet. That's the other thing that I sometimes do when I get down in the corner like that, is I start coloring and I'm like, whoops, that was a leaf and not a petal, but I think we're good. All right, then I'm going to grab, I know, hopefully we'll get some good wood grains in the next mini catalog. But for now, we have this wood grain paper until, when is it, the end of June. So we should be good. We're good for a little while. We'll see what the next mini catalog brings. Hopefully we'll have some more wood grains back in that. So again, I've got soft seafoam light that I went over the leaves with, and I'm coming back in with the dark and just adding a little bit of scratchy color. And again, my amazing coloring skills. I know you will all be very impressed. That was it. So I'm going to adhere this to the inside of the card and hope that my Stampin' Seal lasts long enough. I think we're barely going to make it. Yep, we did. Phew. Run a little Stampin' Seal around here. Stick this to the inside of the card, and we are all going to be all done for the day. All right, so I've got that stuck together. Going to do a quick crease with the bone folder here at the top, and that's it. So got 2 Mother's Day cards ready to go, one for my mom and one for my mother-in-law, so we should be good to go on that. Let me know if you have any questions on this. Again, I'll be posting all the details and sharing a link in the description of the video, so be on the lookout for that tomorrow. And again, go take a peek at the new catalog stuff. If you were interested in joining, we'd love to have you join the team, and it is an awesome time to join right now because you can put pre-order items in your starter kit, so yay for that. And then get a 20% discount on all the stuff you purchase from Stampin' Up! As a demonstrator from the new catalog, well, from any catalog. So let me know if you have questions about that. Again, thanks for joining today. I appreciate you all being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will plan to be live again on Friday around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on my YouTube channel, and then back here next week, Tuesday, around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Facebook. So we will chat with you all soon.